Perhaps we should have heeded the sailor's warning as we left the Copper Harbor Marina that gusty morning. Keep the Coast Guard on the radio, close at hand! And that's not the worst part of what he said. He had to add, and don't die! But we were already days behind schedule. The captain was testing it out as a liveaboard for retirement. He'd offered me a place on board as I was researching resilience of rural people and ecological systems for my dissertation. But I was fearful of water. I come from a long line of sinkers. My mom and dad's idea of swimming, rolling up your jeans and wading ankle deep in a river. And I was all too well aware of Lake Superior's mythology. Few of us have not heard of the song The Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? And all that remains is the faces and names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. But I had another reason to be on that boat. About a year before, I'd received a call from my sister, in a panic, explaining that my 23-year-old little brother had been in a fatal car accident, blindsided by a woman hopped up on pain meds. Even more recently, I'd lost my mother to emphysema. After having provided care for her for the last 8 years, I would do just about anything to avoid my now empty and lonely home. I'd brought a little bit of home with me. I had some of my mom's orchids, and there was just enough room on board for our dog Harriet, who had served as a very fine companion throughout my mom's illness. There I was, lost in thoughts of death, meanings of life. And while a captain can remain busy tacking through waves, there is not much a passenger can do. And the boat rocked, and it rolled, and it creaked back and forth. And I sat there wondering how high of waves this boat could handle before it would also capsize. I watched, worried, I remembered. It was similar to life, really, that experience. Similar to long-term illnesses and watching a loved one pass on. There's not much you can do. But wait. After her passing, I had a lot to learn about myself, to contemplate a new way forward. I'd already learned a great deal about Lake Superior and its people while on that boat trip, to learn to see it as a complex system that it really was, full of barges and industry and shorelines of development. A past of human exploitations clearly remained recorded in its landscape. But a few old-growth trees remain, high above the horizon, only here or there, but they remain nonetheless reminders of the resilience of the North Woods. A lovely and wild place, with bright stars and northern lights that still glow spiritedly above Lake Superior's darkened skies, and like the wild waves we traveled on that day, still remind us of our small place in this universe. And as I looked up from these encircling thoughts, the captain's shoulders grew more relaxed. We had rounded the tip and found ourselves safe in the harbor. And I learned not only a little about the resilience of Lake Superior's landscape and people, but I wanted to survive that day. I realized I might just have what it takes to navigate life without my little brother and without my mother by my side.